3 of playing Final Fantasy X the wrong way. In the last part, we made our way to Kilika Island, fighting ourselves Sinspawn Achilles.
Hey, you awake? Captain Walker's waiting for you.
And now we're going to be moving our way forward towards the temple and all that awaits us then.
Ah, there you are. Be said Aurochs, huddle. On to the temple, where we pray for victory. Go! High Summoner O'Holland used to live in the Kilika temple here. Yup, Lord O'Holland was once a great blitzer, you know.
Waka. Praying for victories, oh good. But is this right?
Something wrong with enjoying blitzball?
Is this really the time?
This is the only time. The players fight with all their strength. The fans cheer for their favorite team. They forget pain, suffering. Only the game matters. That's why Blitz has been around for so long. At least that's what I think.
Whatever you say.
Let's play and win, right?
Right.
Temple's beyond the jungle there. Let's go.
So if you're new and just tuning in at the third part of this series, I would suggest go back and watching at least the beginning of the first one. If you don't feel like watching all of the cutscenes, I don't blame you. But in the first episode, I randomized the roles that I'm going to be taking all of our characters down, ending up with such. Titus is going to be our Black Mage, Waka is going to go down our Samurai path or Orin's path, Kamari is going to take up Yuna's role as the White Mage, Lulu is going to be our Status Inflictor or Waka's job, Riku will be our Blue Mage, so thankfully I can move her wherever I feel like it. Yuna will go down Titus's role, and Orin will be our Thief. So it should be a very interesting play, especially once we start getting locked off and having
Yuna's saying
certain characters not in the party. We might lose out on some very key roles.
To ask you to be my guardian.
You know what? There's no time for jokes, yeah? He may be a blitzball whiz kid, but up against fiends, he's a newbie.
Not a guardian, then. I just want him nearby.
What?
What? What do you mean?
It's just that... well... We're all going to the temple anyway. Can't this wait till later? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have...
There's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just not really sure what's going on.
My apologies.
I'm going to save, just so we don't have to do that a second time, in case I fail at beating Lord Ochu.
Kimari, why don't you use...
What's a lancet?
Normally, it's a skill that weakens enemies, but when a Ronso uses it, that Ronso can sometimes learn Fiend's abilities.
Hey, sounds cool.
I'm going to save as overdrive, because it will be useful against Lord Ochu that we're going to be, we see right in front of us. Couldn't walk in here.
Company, halt! The fiend before us is Ochu, Lord of the Wood. We've had trouble with this one before. Remember, discretion is the better part of valor.
As always, we're going to start off by cheering ourselves up a bit. And hitting it down. We're going to save Kamari's Overdrive for once I get the 4 times cheer off, just to really cement the amount of damage it will do. Once we get the Lord Ochu down a good portion of health, it will go to sleep, which is where we will swap out and fight it with Aeons. There's the 4 times cheer, to really increase our defense and strength to the entire party. From this point on, it should be pretty straightforward, and we can just do our damage. 570 is pretty good coming out of a single character right now. Well, I was gonna say whenever we got hit, but that'll be right then. We're gonna still have our sensor, thankfully, from Kamari. He should go to sleeping at this point. So we bring in Valefor. And we wake it up. The problem with Lord Ochu is when he goes to sleep, he starts regaining a lot of health at the end of everybody's turn. And when you attack him physically and wake him up, he casts Earthquake, which cannot hit Valefor since he's in the air, much like Earthquake can't hit flying Pokemon. Or Pokemon with the Levitate ability, but semantics. So I only have one more hit of water. So I can either Sonic Wings it, which it's immune to, the knockback, which I'm going to do anyways, because Sonic's Wings is a fast attack. It's just, I need him to not cast water a second time. I don't have enough damage to be able to take him down. But since we're here, we're just going to dismiss, because I want to be able to overkill him. On the off chance it gives me an HP Spear as a rare drop instead of the pretty standard MP Sphere, I want to have 2 of them. It'll allow me to cheese a lot of this upcoming game. We're gonna just keep Yuna up and in the party, and we're gonna keep pushing forward pretty hard. Alright, now that it's been down a bit of health, I don't think I'll crit and kill it. Yeah, even if I did critically hit it, it would only have been 400 damage. So, even though that these guys are not going down their correct sphere grid paths, it doesn't really make too much of a difference this early on the game, because you've only had 2 to 3 sphere levels. So, beginning of the game, not very much will change. Just gonna have to really... Yep, there's the 2 MP spheres.
A summoner and her guardians. Very impressive.
Sir, we should fight too.
We'll get our chance soon enough.
Young Crusaders gather around. We'll meet Satan to the ground.
Now I'm gonna go back and save. Everyone's been beaten down just a little bit. I'm gonna start leveling them up. We're gonna go into the wrong paths. Lulu, as said earlier, will become my status inflictor, so we need to move her towards Waka's grid, which will give her a very nice extract mana right now, a little bit of extra strength and some health, and we'll finish her off with 2 more defense. Gonna go to Yuna, which will be going towards our Titus's grid. So I have 2 options of doing this. I can get the extract ability and grab scan, or I can kind of loop through and grab also those extra 2 strength. I think it'll be just better to get her there faster, because we'll have just... his grid will have plenty of strength and defense in it. So we're just going to grab these 2, move her twice more, and grab her the Lancet ability. Lancet will be very, very useful for almost anyone passing through the middle of like the starting grid, because it will give us all of our ability to gain mana and a little bit of health back from natural enemies. So it'll give us a bit of sustain, which is great. Waka will be our heavy hitter, which is, yeah, it's up this way. So we've got Power Break down here, so Waka is actually going to progress a little bit into his grid. Grab these 3 start nodes, increase his magic by a little bit, get him a little bit of agility and some accuracy, and then we're just going to shuffle him into Orin's grid. Now, I don't know if I feel like I should backtrack for the Power Break, since Orin will have it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes to grab that, and then once we have 6 nodes, we're starting here, so it'd be 1, 2 to come back. So it'd be 8 levels I'd have to dedicate to go get that, which honestly I think is fine as long as it's as long as I know that that's where it's going to happen. Now, Kimahri is going to replace Yuna in her role, which means he's going to go down and become the White Mage. I will need to backtrack him here to grab the Cure, because I will need that secondary heal. And since I'm there, I can grab the Strength 3, which is a huge increase to Strength. Then we're just going to follow the path as intended. This is not. This is Black Mage, yeah. Alright, and we've got Titus as our Black Mage. Gonna just move in here. Get that at Dark Attack. Get Lancet, and we're gonna get him a little bit more defense. Alright, everyone's starting to begin the gigantic Swapperoo, where everything is going to the wrong place. Immediately, another fight.
Out of my way!
Gotta love it.
Ow.
We're gonna switch Titus in.
Newbie here.
Sorry.
Shh.
Oh yeah.
This one does the least amount of damage, so we're just gonna let it sit.
I'm ready. Anyone thirsty?
Need Kimahri in. He'll take a swing at it. Actually, no, he won't. If he actually manages to hit that, Waka will be out EXP, and that...
I can take care of those alone, huh?
Really don't want anyone to fall behind in this game. Because as they start falling behind, because I'm still going to have to dedicate the first 15 levels to basically setting them up to be in each other's sphere grid. And if anyone starts falling behind, they become woefully inadequate in their power. Basically puts their role on moot status. Then the elementals do a lot of damage, so we're gonna get rid of them right away. We're gonna defend and swap to someone with a little bit better defense just in case I get hit. It's always beautiful to see how much evasion Lulu has. Right, since I have not grabbed any strength, I can't one-shot these things. Even though they are, quote-unquote, Titus's preferred enemy, there's just no way we can kill it since we haven't given him any more strength. We've negated those 2 strength nodes he should have already had if he were to follow his own grid. Not to mention the 1 agility that would have really helped us out. I don't think I'll hit with this, but I'm gonna try. I didn't think so. So our mage is silenced, which is pretty bad. When you have Lancet, you don't have to worry about missing, because it is indeed magical. Magic abilities cannot miss, and they cannot crit. Critically hitting something with magic actually does exist in the files, but you cannot do it in the game, legitimately. Should not have one more fight, maybe? Okay, we're good. Gonna save, and we're gonna have our next fight on our hands.
These stone steps have a history, you know. Yep, Lord O'Holland trained here at his peak.
A race, huh? Think you can beat me?
Yuna, if you would.
Ready?
Hey!
Ah, huh? Hey!
Save. We're gonna confandangle the formation just a little bit, so that way it's a favorable start to us. And we're gonna take this thing head on.
Everyone, quick! Sin spawn!
This is going to be the first fight that it's very apparent that the game is going to be a little bit harder right now. Since I've actually had about 5 or 6 levels per character and I put them incorrectly somewhere where they shouldn't be, our damage is going to be a lot lower. So I'm going to have a harder time getting these hands down and getting people through. So to really help get the get around the fact that I'm really a lot lower on some defense and strength, I'm going to cheer up 4 times. It'll last us on all of our physical hitters. Size pretty bad. We're looking at a little bit of damage, but we're on cheer number 3. We'll do it the 4th, and start on the full offensive. Once we get this thing cracked open, or once we get these down so that way Lulu can start hitting it, we're going to switch out Titus, since he's the one with the least amount. Actually, Walk would be probably the least amount. But we need this thing to be opened up right now. And Waka really isn't going to cut it. Let's bring back Titus in. We'll get Yuna in at some point. But without having a piercing weapon, I am woefully gimped to 1/4 of my damage. Now there is a very, very innate, small percentage chance that I could have just ignored the armor. Now we're going to switch in Yuna. We do not have anything close to an overdrive, and I do not think Veilfor will live long enough to it. But we want to keep Yuna in just for being able to heal and Asuna off that venom that's going to be getting on us pretty nastily as we continue on this fight. The most damaging thing she can currently do is just lance at it. Now, I don't think I'll have any way to really overkill this one, since I didn't take the time to start getting any overdrive on anything. But we'll see. If Veil 4 can survive long enough to get overdrive, we'll get an overkill. If not, it's no big deal. It'll be immune to being is it? No, it's not. It's kind of weird how so few things are actually immune to delay early on in the game. I think I'll actually probably kill it before it gets another turn, and that is unfortunate. So we're gonna knock it down. Since this is technically a skill move, it doesn't crit. We're gonna boost here and hope he doesn't cast water. So this is a dead bird. What? Only 100 damage? Alright, well we're gonna keep boosting until it gets us our overdrive. Staccato should do about 230 damage. 174, that's not bad. Hopefully, we'll be able to get our overdrive through this. Venom's gonna hurt. And there's our overdrive. And there's another overkill.
Sorry about that. Hope to break you in a little slower.
Being a guardian's tiring.
You handle yourself pretty well. You got talent.
Hey. So, what are these sin spawn anyway?
Fiends. They fall from Sin's body and are left behind in its wake.
Leave him alone and Sin comes back for him. You gotta be quick.
That moment when Waka told me I had talent in battle, I think that was when I started seriously considering becoming a guardian.
Nice 2 to 3 levels for most everyone. We're a little short on a lot of our, really short on ability spheres. Got some mana spheres. We're gonna be losing out on a lot of speed spheres until we can get extract speed. But should be fine pretty relatively quickly once we get
they got fiends in Xanarkand too.
Just
to
a
the
few. It's a big
medium
deal
high
when
road.
one shows up, though. Hey, since when have you believed me about Xanarkand anyway?
I've been thinking, maybe people Sin gets to don't die. Maybe Sin carries them through time, like 1,000 years through time. And then one day, maybe they just pop back, see?
Amazing. Simply amazing. You make up one theory after another, refusing to face the simple truth. Sin didn't take Chappu anywhere. Sin crushed him and left him on the Jose shore. Your brother won't just pop back. Oh, and one more thing. No matter how much you want it, no one can take Chappu's place. No one can replace Sir Jekt, for that matter. And there's no replacement for Lord Braska, either. It's pointless to think about it. And sad.
I could never be what Chappu was. Well, stuff happens. Best not to worry.
Waka, Lulu, and Waka's brother, Chappu. Something had happened between them a long time ago. I was sure of it. Well, whatever it was none of my business, that's for sure. Best not to go there.
pray for victory too?
Us? Pray? Who needs to pray? The Luca goers always win.
Oh yeah? Then why are you here?
We've been praying for some competition this year.
So what's your goal this time? You gonna do your best again? Ha! It's too bad your best isn't good enough. Why even bother showing up?
This time, we play to win.
Ooh, play away. Just remember, even kids can play, boys.
See you in the finals!
We'll beat them. We have to.
You know that team?
Putting people down. They're as bad as my old man.
But Sir Jekt was a kind and gentle man.
Well, not my Jekt.
Kind and gentle drunkard.
Even 10 years after he left. Just thinking about my old man got me angry. But maybe that was just my way of keeping him... Nah.
Alrighty, so we got a few levels. Gonna start moving everyone a little bit closer to where they should be. Grab scan. Just move right here. Get to extractability, which we're gonna have to use in the next few fights because we're running very low. Especially since I'm gonna need to move Kamari over here and get the Kira and Asuna abilities. Yuna needs to just kind of meander her way up here. I could learn Jinx, but it's not really important to me right now. I still have 2 more levels before I pass out of its range, and by then, I should have another 1 ability sphere for her. Titus, which is our Black Mage, will be finally getting his first strength upgrade he's gotten all game. 2 increases, not terribly bad, but it's not really that good either. He would have already been at an additional 2, so he's back on par with himself. Say, since we started at here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we might actually already be on haste, and at that point would be one point ahead, but really, he's now actually comparable to where he should be. Move Lulu over here. Here we have the ability to grab both Dark Attack and Lance it, but I'm gonna park her here for a bit. I kinda actually really hate using the last of your spheres up, because then it'll put the next one down on the very bottom. It's not too pivotal that she moves right now. Waka will move, and he'll grab these 2 HP nodes, giving him a 400 HP increase, which is pretty massive right now, this early on in the game. So if we look at the HP of the health of things, we've got Kamari with 640, 720 on Titus, and over 1,000 already on Waka. Now, the really fun cheese that you could do in this game, if you're allowing yourself like a no sphere grid, but you're allowing overdrives, is to reset the Lord Ochu fight over and over and over again until you get those 2 HP spheres from getting the overkill on them. And you need to play on the non-expert sphere grid. You give them both to those 2 adjacent empty nodes that Kamari has. You grab both of them, and it should put him up to a lot more health than he has. Now, that's fine and dandy, but that doesn't help you at all. No sphere grid, in my opinion, means you just don't move. You can grab all adjacent nodes. Other people will combat me and say, you can't even open the sphere grid. But I like being able to grab any adjacent nodes from their starting locations, because you don't move them. But if you grab 2 HP nodes, you can then have enough health that on using self-destruct, you'll be able to do, I think it's 6,420 damage.
A summoner, are you?
Because using self-destruct
from the Isle of Besaid
does damage equal to 4 times
So,
your
you're
maximum
High
hit
Son of
points.
Alaska's daughter. That's quite a name to live up to. My,
my. And all these people are your guardians? My, what a rabble. As I recall, Lord Braska had only 2 guardians. Quality over quantity, my dear. Whatever were you thinking? I have need of only 1 guardian. Right, Bartello?
I only have as many guardians as there are people I can trust. I trust them all with my life. To have so many guardians is a joy and an honor. Even more so than being my father's daughter. Of course, I would never think of questioning your ways either. So, Lady Donna, I ask of you, please leave us in peace.
You do what you want, Bartello, we're leaving.
A guardian is someone a summoner can rely on. Someone she can trust with her life. I wondered, did Yuna feel that way about me? What's she smiling about?
Alrighty, we're gonna say clear. Took quite a bit of damage in that last fight with the Sin spawn. Even though we won't be really fighting anything, it's always nice to save after long cutscenes, just so we don't have to
The faith is below. Let's do
bear it a second time on accident.
The faith?
But first, the Cloister of Trials. Kamari, Waka, ready?
Strength, everyone.
No! Nah! Hey, what gives?
You're not a guardian yet.
We'll be back as soon as we can, okay?
Oh, sure, soon. Like tomorrow soon, I bet.
Where's Yuna? Then why are you here?
Hey, I'm not a guardian, so I'm not supposed to go in, right?
Not a guardian, you say?
Hey, wait! Ah! Let me go! Go! Hey! What's the big idea?
Just a little game.
Huh? This is bad. Really bad. Only guardians allowed. And I'm sure no guardian. Well, I guess it's too late now.
I always wondered who reset these things. There has to be some form of magical way to do it, because we just make an utter mess of everything. Like, we just set this door on fire. Who's going to rebuild the door? I remember my first time ever going through these things. It was like, I got through Besaid pretty self-explanatorily, And then it was just so... Everyone just got increasingly longer before I figured out how to act... Ah, crap. Forgot. Before I figured out how to actually do it. And the worst one is when I was in the temple in Makalania Forest with the Ice Temple for Shiva. It just was so gosh darn long because I was pushing the block into the wrong area, so the ice was not forming right. Or I accidentally stepped on the pedestal reset once. And that's the absolute worst. Because all of the blocks, all of the walkways, I had it done and I was ready to move on, and it just reset itself. Made me feel so crap at this. And now it's just like, you get about a 5-minute diversion at most. Especially if you go back and get the destruction spheres, which used to be a really big problem. It used to not be a really big problem, my bad. When I had the USA version of the game. Because there was no Dark Aeons, so I could always just come back and redo and re-get the Destruction Sphere treasures whenever I wanted to. And now I'm always barred by either Dark Aeon or some other extracurricular activity that I did not get when I didn't have the International PAL version of this game. Now that I do, I have to kind of be aware that I need to get it now. Walking into a Dark Aeon for the first time when revisiting Mushroom Rock Road, was the scariest thing ever, because it was not only just a Dark Aeon out of the blue, it was the Dark Magus Sisters. So not only was it just like, my day had been ruined and I was dead, it was the hardest
that big muscle head
out of all of them.
Yuna will be the one to suffer the consequences.
What consequences?
She could be excommunicated.
When in doubt, turn around and leave. I think I have to talk to Waka once.
So what?
We have to learn about the faith, and then we just turn around and leave.
Oh yeah, that thing, right.
The Faith are people who gave their lives to battle sin. Yevon took their souls, willingly given from their still living bodies.
Huh?
Now they live forever, trapped in statues. But when a summoner beckons, the souls of the Faith emerge once again. That's what we call an Aeon.
All that in this room? So what's Yuna doing in there?
She prays with all her heart for a way to defeat sin.
Alright, now we leave. Which will get us our next Aeon. Ifrit.
There was something I didn't tell anyone else that day. That song we heard there, in the temple, I knew it from my childhood. It was proof that Spira and Xanarkin were connected. Somehow. At least to me it was. Maybe that's why suddenly, I felt like I just wanted to go home. I tried to say something to tell them, but the words wouldn't come. I thought I had put my feelings for Xanarkin behind me. But they were there, and they grew inside me bigger and bigger, till I was just about ready to burst.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
To scream real loud.
Alright. Let's make our way back to Kilika town. We're gonna take the extended loop. Shh. No one needs to hear it. We don't have... Thankfully we can't one-shot these things. And they cannot dodge. Yeah, you can still miss them, but you won't... They won't actively evade you. And we're gonna not still ability on both of these because we're very, very low on our ability spheres. Gonna switch in Waka. I don't think we have the ability to overkill these yet. But we're gonna extract ability on both of them since we're really low on those spheres. Bring in Lulu to finish off that one on the left.
Now what?
Since she's not gotten any magic increases, it's not going to overkill it. These things have ridiculously high overkill things. I think they have the overkill value is equal to that of Lord Ochu, and I do not feel like overdriving them.
My turn now! Ha!
Have overdrive available, but it's really not worth it. I'm gonna save it for later. So allow me to take Yuna and grab both Dark Attack and Lance it. All of that just now for nothing. Now we can take her down Waka's path, and she'll start getting silence and all of that really fun stuff. Does that go? That goes back into a black mage, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Get her down to a few things. Extract mana is not something we need right now. We're going... I really feel like Power Break is going to be very vital to this game, so I'm actually going to take the backtrack for Waka for it. Alright, cool. Moving along. I'll end up coming back here, possibly later on, once I get myself a no encounters weapon, or, you know, or farm a Phantom for the Bengal.
Alright.
Can I grab an extractability out of this thing?
Let us Guardians head.
And then... I'm gonna have a hard time hitting the other one with extract anything. Since Waka doesn't have extract ability, I'm gonna have to use the ones who do, which I think it's Kamari? Yeah. He has a small chance of hitting this. She also has a very small chance of hitting it. There we go.
Let us Guardian.
Now that I've hit it, I can just bring in Waka and throw a ball at it.
It's over.
Should get us another 2 ability spheres and 1 speed sphere.
I'm good, yeah?
Since I'm not overkilling it, it would have been 4, but since everyone's going completely in the wrong direction, we really won't be able to overkill much of anything for a very long while in the game until I start over-leveling things. Might as well do this now before I leave. 3 items is always nice. And goodness knows, once I get the flux check, I will need items. Once you get that reality check, that difficulty spike that happens once we start getting into some of the later bosses, items will become a very, very important thing. Yeah, we don't need a save here. Though I could. We're gonna have plenty of save spheres once we go into this next part of the game. Get that free ether and move along nicely. I don't think she has anything at that shop that's worth buying. Let's embark.
Off to Kilika at last. The matches start soon as we get there, so rest up on the way, yeah?
Alrighty, we're starting to approach a little bit long for this, so thank you so much for watching. This has been part 3 of playing Final Fantasy X the wrong way. Hope you have a great day and tune in for the next episode.